Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Natasha, and if you're new here, I started posting videos over a month ago, and I will be posting daily videos with anything that comes to my mind. It might be controversial topics, it might just be how I'm feeling, whatever I feel guided to talk about. I am an addict. I'm 29. I say addict, not alcoholic, because I can get addicted to absolutely anything and everything. And I have, and I will, and I would if I didn't have a 12-step recovery program. So I know that it's supposed to be an anonymous program, which is why you probably won't find much on YouTube. But this is my way of kind of giving back to the program, because I remember when I first came in only 18 months ago, so I'm still very new, and I'm only doing the step work with the sponsor as a group as well for the second time. So I am no expert. I'm just highlighting a few points and talking about my perspective on step 3. And also my sponsor told me that I need to practice step 1, 2 and 3 today, because on Sunday, tomorrow, I'm going for, the bum camera thing. I think it's called a colonoscopy. There we go. One of those. And I'm not allowed to eat all day today or tomorrow morning. And as a food addict, so I'm also in Food Addicts Anonymous, that's pretty tricky for me. It's a bit triggering that I can't eat today, and then I'll be taking laxatives this evening, and I used to abuse laxatives as part of a food addiction, eating disorder. They're the same thing. So these steps are based on AA, because AA was the first group that was formed, but nowadays there are anonymous groups for everything from phone addiction, tobacco anonymous, sex addicts anonymous, crystal meth anonymous, cocaine anonymous, marijuana anonymous, codependency anonymous. The list goes on and on and on. There, caffeine anonymous. There's a group for everything. So if you do think that you have addictions, or if you're in AA and you've got other addictions, then please explore other avenues. Because I spent 1 month in AA, and then my binge eating got so out of control that my dress ripped in a work meeting and I couldn't fit into any of my clothes. So I had to get help from FA, Food Addicts Anonymous, and oh my gosh, it's the most amazing program, because in FA you can't have sugar, flour, alcohol, drugs, anything mind altering, even caffeine, and it just feels like an umbrella that helps protect me from any addictions that I might have. I've got a wonderful sponsor. The fellowship's amazing. The meetings are amazing. I was on one this morning, and actually I woke up in so much fear, doubt and insecurity about tomorrow, on, scared about what the results will be, what will happen next. So this step 3 is so relevant to me today, because step 3 is about handing the will over. Let me just read the exact, I don't know off by heart. Okay, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. So that's me saying that I'm worried about all these things and I'm stressing about tomorrow, but really I just need to hand that over to God and to stop thinking about it. Like, when I'm powerless, I admit I'm powerless. I can't handle this thing. I don't know. I don't have a clear answer for myself. I don't know what the test results will be. I don't know how I'm going to get through today without eating it at all. But I need to hand that over to God and trust that he'll give me the strength. If it's of his will, then he's going to give me the strength. So I don't have to worry, because as I constantly hand over the will to God, I don't have to be in control, and I don't have to stress, and therefore I don't have to take responsibility to some extent. I connect with God throughout the day through prayer, meditation. I know that people struggle to find a God or to believe in God, and I've been there. I turned my back against God. For so long, many years, I believed that there was no other higher power, and that only led me into addiction and toxic situations. And I feel so protected now, and my life is just like nothing really bad happens to me, and it's filled with so much joy because I found God. And I just hope that everybody gets to feel that. So anyway, back to step 3. If you are here, I'm guessing that you're probably an addict and you're embarking on the journey, or you've been in recovery for a while and you just looking at what's online. But yeah, mine's gone blank. Bear with me. Step 3. Okay, so I've got 3 books here: the 12 Steps, the Little Red Book, and the Little Red Book, which is big and it's different text, so I don't know why they're both called the Little Red Book. But this is a 1946 edition, so this program's been going on for a while, and it's free. And the success rates are amazing. All you have to do is go into a meeting, you'll see how many people are successfully sober by doing the 12 steps. Okay, so in the first 2 steps, we were engaged in reflection. We saw that we were powerless over alcohol. By the way, we always use the word alcohol, but it can be used for any addiction. So we could say we admitted that we were powerless over cocaine, or we saw that we were powerless over food. But we also perceived that faith of some kind. If only in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous itself, is possible to anyone, these conclusions did not require action. They required only acceptance. So step 1 and 2 is about just admitting that you're powerless, and 2, coming to believe that there is a higher power. And then step 3 is actually taking an action to let go of the control completely, and just know that it's in God's hands. Like, I have a God box. And if I'm worried about something, I'll write it on paper and I put it in the God box. And what was really funny is the box I decided to use, when I opened it a few days ago, because I've only just started doing this, even though I've been told that many people use it as a way to hand over to God. They physically put it in a box, and it's really helped me so far. But look what I found in the box. It's an old Christmas box. And I found this that my granddad gave me, and I call Jesus God. So I was like, oh my God, God is in my God box. So I get all these synchronicities and just little reminders that God is real. I could put that's for another day, but I've had so many situations in my life where God has showed me that he's real. You might think I'm crazy, but I know there's so many people that have also met God and connect with God on a daily basis. So I don't feel like I'm weird, or I just know he's real. So say what you will. Okay. The whole AA program will rest upon how well, earnestly, we have tried to come to a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. So yeah, just as I mentioned, just giving up control, handing over to him. And oh yes, we'll weigh the pros and cons of every program. We'll listen politely to those who would advise us, but all the decisions are to be ours alone. So I often tell myself that if I'm seeking validation and asking people for answers, then that's coming from my place of insecurity and doubt. And if I'm feeling doubtful and insecure, the only person that can give me the answers is God. So I need to hand it over to him, let him deal with it, and then the answers will come clearly, and I'll deal with the problem and move on. Asking people for their opinions is never helpful. People are going to tell you this way, this way, this way, and you're going to feel dragged in all different directions, and you're going to feel drained. And I do feel like in fellowship, or if you've got a spiritual group of friends, God can work through other people for us. But if that's when we're in a place of peace and calm, then things will get shown to us through other people. But if we're coming from a place of anxiety and worry, please don't ask other people for their opinions, because you're just not in a good place to receive the right answer. And also this, as addicts, we like to be independent and controlling, and it's really toxic. And that's something that I'm dealing with today as well, because tomorrow I need to get a friend to pick me up from the hospital because I'll have anesthetic. And I don't want to ask anyone for help. It's so uncomfortable for me. I just want to get home myself. I don't want to ask anyone for help. It's so uncomfortable for me. But we have to ask for help, especially as addicts, because we're so self-centered and so controlling and can get fixated on things so easily and obsessive, that we need to step out of our own heads and connect with other people, allow others to help us and help other people. That's what life's about. Nobody is going to meddle with our personal independence in such matters. Besides, we think there is nobody that we can surely trust. Yeah, another thing is addicts really struggle with trust. It's something that I've really struggled with in the past and I still struggle with. I'm starting to trust my family. I trust my family and I trust some friends around me, but I've really struggled with it. And I definitely find it hard to trust people in program. I don't know why. I guess it's just because they're also on their journey of, and some of them are spiritually sick, and people can be sober for years and years but they're still very spiritually sick because they haven't worked the steps and they haven't transformed their character. So they might be sober but they're still this negative, sick person. So you have to be really careful in program about who you listen to, but it's definitely the only way and the best way and the quickest way and the most cost efficient way because it's free. So this one says, it is well to realise that we belong to an anonymous society, that the public has no way of knowing what we are doing except that we no longer drink. So that's one I learned at the start. Was I was so worried about telling people that I don't drink, especially at work, and by handing that over to God, it always just worked out where I didn't have to explain myself, or you know, I had somewhere else to go, or I'd go to a meeting. I would just dodge answering anyone asking questions about me drinking. I would just run away and run to a meeting. I'm lucky that I'm in London because I can go to an in-person meeting whenever I like. But yeah, I just dodged it. And now I don't care what people think. I really don't. I just don't drink, and that's enough of an answer. Self-surrender of fear, pride, resentment, and egotism. So egotism, ego stands for edging God out. So when you're turning your back on God and not handing the will over to him, you're living in your ego and becoming egotistic, and that comes with resentment, pride, anger, so many negative emotions come when you're living in your ego. When you step out of your ego, you become free and happy and peaceful, and trust me, because I've been there and it feels so good. And sometimes I slip back into my ego, especially when I'm judging people or judging myself. I feel all of this emotional pain come on. Okay, honesty, humility, and willingness to establish an alert consciousness of this power greater than ourselves is the first requirement in trying to understand God. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I did have a bit more to read, but I honestly find step work so draining. It's really draining because it's spiritual work and it can be really tiring. It's spiritually, even if you don't do anything physically or mentally, the spiritual, how can I put it? I don't know how to explain it, but it's like something spiritually is lifted when you do. Oh, I see. I'm yawning because it's so tiring. Something spiritually is lifting, even just reading and learning about the 12 steps. It's so, so powerful. I suggest anybody tries it. But yeah, there's my little piece on step 3. If you're also doing step 3, drop a comment. Of course, I understand it's an anonymous program, so if you don't feel comfortable, don't, but best of luck in your step journey, and I'm excited for you in your transformation and to feeling lighter, happier, joyous and free. Mwah.